Ambassador Yuthara had expected perhaps a dozen ships. Maybe 24 if the humans were feeling particularly generous. The Zilani Confederation's request for military assistance had been modest: a few vessels to help break the siege of their outer colonies, nothing more. After 18 months of brutal warfare against the Drake Thul swarm, any support would be welcomed. What emerged from the hyperspace gate above Zilani Prime was not a few ships. "By the Seven Suns," whispered Fleet Commander Nexaval, his 4 eyes wide with disbelief as he stared at the tactical display. "How many are there?" The human fleet stretched across local space like a metal constellation. Massive dreadnoughts, the size of small moons, flanked sleek carriers whose launch bays disgorged endless streams of fighters. Destroyer squadrons moved in perfect formation, their weapons arrays bristling with enough firepower to glass planets. Supply ships, medical vessels, and engineering platforms filled the spaces between the warships, creating a floating city of military might. "Computer," Nexval croaked, "count human vessels." Scanning, the ship's AI responded in its calm Zilani dialect. "Count complete. 2,437 ships detected. Classification: full battle fleet with support elements." Ambassador Yuthara felt her respiratory organs seize. 2,000? We asked for a few dozen ships. The communications array crackled to life, and a human voice filled the bridge, calm, professional, carrying the weight of absolute authority. "Zilani Command, this is Admiral Sarah Chen aboard the UES Retribution. We received your request for assistance. Where do you need us?" Nexaval found his voice after several stunned moments. "Admiral Chen, welcome to Zilani space. We were not expecting such a substantial response." A pause, then what sounded like surprise in the human's voice. "Ambassador Yuthara indicated your people were facing an extinction-level threat. Did we misunderstand the situation?" "No, Admiral, the threat is real," Yuthara managed. "The Drake Thul swarm has overrun 6 of our colonies and shows no signs of stopping. But we only asked for limited support." Ambassador Admiral Chen's voice carried a tone that somehow managed to be both gentle and implacable. "When humanity's friends call for help, we don't send limited support. We send a solution." The tactical display updated, showing the human fleet reorganizing with military precision that left the Zilani officers speechless. Ships moved into attack formations that their computers couldn't even classify, utilizing 3-dimensional tactics that seemed to ignore conventional space warfare doctrine. "Fleet Commander Nexaval," Admiral Chen continued, "please transmit all intelligence on Drake Thul positions, fleet compositions, and strategic objectives. My staff will coordinate with yours to ensure no friendly casualties during operations." "Admiral," Nexval said hesitantly, "the Drake Thul have over 15,000 vessels spread across 7 systems. Their mothership alone is 30 kilometers long. Perhaps we should discuss a phased approach." "Understood, Commander. We'll handle it." The casual confidence in those 4 words sent a chill through every Zilani on the bridge. Within hours, the human battle plan became clear, and it defied everything the Zilani understood about warfare. Instead of the cautious, methodical campaign they had expected, the humans proposed simultaneous strikes across all 7 occupied systems. "This is madness," muttered Defense Minister Kolthar as he reviewed the strategy. "They want to attack everywhere at once. No species has the logistical capability to maintain supply lines across such distances." Admiral Chen's holographic image flickered slightly as she addressed the assembled Zilani leadership. "Minister, human doctrine is quite simple. When facing an infestation, you don't treat symptoms. You eliminate the source. Half measures only prolong suffering." "But the casualties," began Yuthara. "Will be minimal," Chen finished. "We've been fighting bugs for 300 years, Ambassador. "This isn't our first extermination." The way she said extermination with such clinical detachment made Yuthara's scales ripple with unease. The assault began at 600 Zelani Standard Time. The humans struck with a coordination that bordered on supernatural. Across 7 systems simultaneously, their fleets emerged from hyperspace with split-second timing. The Drakethul, accustomed to fighting individual Zelani task forces, suddenly found themselves facing humanity's full military might. In the Kairos system, human dreadnoughts simply bulldozed through Drakethul formations, their shields absorbing swarm ship attacks that would have crippled Zelani vessels. The aliens' traditional tactic of overwhelming enemies with sheer numbers crashed against human defenses like waves against a seawall. At Zelani 7, 3 human carriers released fighter wings that outnumbered the entire Drakethul swarm presence. The alien bioships, evolved for one-on-one combat, couldn't adapt to fighting thousands of small, highly maneuverable craft attacking in perfect synchronization. But it was at the Nexus, the system containing the Drakethul mothership, that the true scope of human capability became apparent. "Are they insane?" whispered Commander Nexaval as he watched the tactical feed. "They're flying directly into the mothership's gravity well." The UES Apocalypse, a human super dreadnought, had positioned itself less than 1,000 kilometers from the massive Drakethul vessel. At that range, the mothership's bioplasma cannons should have reduced it to molten slag within minutes. Instead, the Apocalypse opened fire. The human ship's weapons didn't just damage the mothership, they began systematically dissecting it. Concentrated particle beams cut through bioarmor like surgical instruments, targeting specific organs and neural clusters with surgical precision. Each shot was calculated to cause maximum systemic damage while preventing the creature from regenerating. "How do they know where to shoot?" Nexaval asked in amazement. "Because humans have been studying us," came a new voice on the comm channel, cold, alien, and absolutely furious. The Drakethul Queen herself was speaking. "They have dissected our children, learned our biology, mapped our weaknesses. This is not warfare, this is butchery." Admiral Chen's response was immediate and uncompromising. "Your Majesty, you chose to threaten our allies. The Zelani are under human protection now. This is what happens to things that threaten our friends." The mothership's death scream echoed across subspace, a bioelectric shriek that sent every Drakethul vessel into chaos. Without their queen's directing intelligence, the swarm simply stopped. Individual ships drifted aimlessly as their collective consciousness collapsed. Within 12 hours of the first shot being fired, the war was over. The human fleet regrouped above Zelani Prime, their ships barely showing scorch marks from the engagement. Medical vessels immediately began distributing aid to liberated colonies, while engineering ships started repairing infrastructure with efficiency that staggered the Zelani observers. Ambassador Yuthara stood on the observation deck of her ship, watching human vessels work with mechanical precision to restore what had taken the Drakethul months to destroy. "Admiral Chen," she said over the comm, "we asked for support in our darkest hour, and you ended our nightmare in a single day." "Ambassador," came the reply, "that's what friends are for. The galaxy is a dangerous place. But it's a lot less dangerous when humanity is watching your back." As Yuthara watched the last of the human fleet prepare to depart, she realized that the Zelani Confederation had gained more than just victory today. They had gained something far more valuable. They had gained the friendship of a species that didn't just win wars. They eliminated them